The Middle East is witnessing a dramatic escalation of violence between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The conflict has resulted in a devastating loss of life and widespread destruction. Israel launched airstrikes in response to attacks by Hezbollah. The situation is critical, raising fears of a larger conflict engulfing the region. The intensity of the Israeli airstrikes is alarming. Reports indicate that Israel has hit a significant number of Hezbollah targets. These targets are spread across Lebanon. The strikes have inflicted heavy damage on infrastructure, further escalating tensions. The international community is deeply concerned about the escalating violence. Many fear a protracted conflict with unpredictable and dire consequences. The situation is highly volatile, demanding immediate attention from global powers. The rapid escalation of violence is a serious concern for regional stability. The situation demands a swift and coordinated response from the international community. Failure to de-escalate the situation could have severe and far-reaching consequences. The international community is urging both Israel and Hezbollah to exercise restraint. Global powers are calling for a peaceful resolution to prevent further bloodshed. The United Nations Security Council has called for an immediate ceasefire to protect civilians. The United States, a close ally of Israel, has expressed support for Israel's right to defend itself. However, the U.S. has also urged de-escalation to prevent the conflict from spiraling out of control. Other world powers, including Russia, China, and European Union members, have called for dialogue. The humanitarian impact of the conflict is a major concern for the international community. Civilian casualties are mounting, and the damage to infrastructure is extensive. The conflict threatens to create a humanitarian crisis, exacerbating the already fragile situation in the region. The international community is actively engaged in diplomatic efforts to mediate between the parties involved. The focus is on preventing further bloodshed and finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. However, the situation remains highly volatile, and the path to peace is fraught with challenges. In response to the Israeli airstrikes, Hezbollah has vowed to retaliate. Hezbollah possesses a formidable arsenal of rockets and missiles capable of striking deep within Israeli territory. The group, designated as a terrorist organization by several countries, poses a significant threat. Reports indicate that Hezbollah has already launched rockets into Israel, triggering sirens and sending residents rushing for cover. The group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, has vowed to continue fighting until Israel ends its offensive. His rhetoric raises concerns about a protracted and bloody conflict. The conflict has prompted Hezbollah to reposition its forces, further raising concerns about a wider conflict. The group's movements are being closely monitored by regional and international actors, as any miscalculation or escalation could have significant consequences. The potential for the conflict to escalate is a grave concern for the international community. Hezbollah's vow to retaliate and its repositioning of forces threaten to ignite a broader conflict with devastating consequences. The escalating conflict has had a devastating impact on civilians in both Lebanon and Israel. In Lebanon, the Israeli airstrikes have caused widespread damage to homes, hospitals, and schools, leaving a trail of destruction. The strikes have also resulted in a tragic loss of innocent lives. The situation has prompted a mass exodus of people seeking safety from the violence. Thousands of Lebanese citizens, as well as foreign nationals, are desperately trying to flee the country. This mass displacement is overwhelming border crossings and raising concerns about a humanitarian crisis. International organizations, including the United Nations and the International Committee of the Red Cross, are working tirelessly to provide humanitarian assistance to those affected by the conflict. However, the ongoing violence and insecurity are hampering aid efforts. The humanitarian crisis unfolding in Lebanon demands immediate attention. The international community must act swiftly to provide aid and support to those affected by the conflict. Failure to do so will have dire consequences for the people caught in the crossfire. The situation in Lebanon remains highly volatile and unpredictable. The potential for further escalation is a significant concern, casting a dark cloud over the region. The ongoing exchange of fire between Israel and Hezbollah, coupled with the inflammatory rhetoric from both sides, suggests that a quick resolution to the conflict is unlikely. The international community's efforts to mediate a ceasefire and de-escalate the situation have so far been unsuccessful, highlighting the deep mistrust between the parties involved. The lack of trust, coupled with their differing objectives, makes finding a peaceful solution extremely challenging. The conflict's trajectory remains uncertain, with the potential for a wider conflagration looming large. The involvement of regional and international actors, the complex geopolitical landscape, and the unpredictability of the situation make it difficult to predict how the conflict will unfold. The international community must remain actively engaged in diplomatic efforts to find a peaceful solution to the conflict. The stakes are incredibly high, and failure to de-escalate the situation could have catastrophic consequences for the region and beyond.